Got a 2004 Honda Civic here in the garage. Got towed in because apparently the AC compressor has locked up and the belt got shredded. So of course the car is not going to move. It kills the battery, blah blah blah, right? It's been sitting for about a month. You could see it even had a tow sticker on it. So he wants me to go ahead and remove this. Like I said, it got towed in this morning. I went out there. I told him, yeah, you know what, it should be done by today. He told me the AC doesn't work, so most likely there's no Freon in the system anyway. I get in the car, try to start it, it doesn't start. The battery is completely dead, nothing on it, right? So I went ahead and got my little jump box, and that thing is crap. It didn't do anything to try to start this car. So I grabbed my good battery out of the CRX and I put it in here. Still doesn't start. Now we're getting power at the dash, but it won't do anything. And at that point I called the owner and asked him, hey, why doesn't it start? You know, if it's just a bad or locked up AC compressor, the car should still start. And he's like, oh, you know what, man, I forgot to tell you, my car has a breathalyzer in it and I have to breathe into it in order for it to start. And sure enough, that's what that cable was. So honestly, dealing with cars like this are a pain in the butt. So I had to wait a few hours. He just left, okay? I waited a few hours for him to show up, and we were able to get the car started and bring it into the garage because it was actually left out there in the street by a tow truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the job done, but now once I'm done, I can't move the car until he has time to come out here again and pick up his own car. I hate dealing with cars with breathalyzers, and had he told me his car had this system implemented into it, I probably would have just denied the job, because I don't like dealing with cars that can't move. It drives me crazy. Anyway, it's here now, and once again I got bamboozled because he didn't tell me it had a breathalyzer on it. Let me go ahead and get to this AC compressor and confirm that it is locked up before I start pulling it off. I just got the power I just got the power pump assembly moved out of the way, and I was able to get down here on the AC compressor, and that thing is definitely locked up solid, doesn't want to move. Alternator still moves, so yeah, definitely needs a AC compressor. So I got everything off of the car. You can see we got this big open space right here. Alternator had to come out, and a bracket. Here goes the AC compressor. This thing got very hot. You can see like melted plastic right here, and this thing won't spin at all. Completely locked up. Here's a new one. See how easy that thing spins, and everything looks to match up. All right, so AC compressor is installed, everything's bolted down and plugged in. I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting on the alternator and the power steering pump to get this thing wrapped up. It's currently 7 p.m. and it's hot in here. It's, you know, about 88 degrees, 87, something like that. No airflow in this garage. It's just hot, sweating bullets. So I told the owner, hey, I'll be done with this thing tonight, you could come pick it up. Oh, well, I can't pick it up tonight, I could do tomorrow morning. Guess what? That tomorrow morning never really happens with most customers. They never show up when they say they're going to show up. So that frustrates me, because whatever I have planned for tomorrow has to be put on a hold until this turd gets out of here. Another problem with not being able to start a car is I can't confirm if everything's working well. I just kind of have to go on hopes and dreams that everything's right, and when owner comes to start it up for the very first time, there's no belt squeal or anything like that. You get what I'm saying? This is why it's so frustrating when I have to deal with cars that have breathalyzers. Woosah, John, woosah. Wax on, wax off, just calm your tits, okay? So let me go ahead and get this knocked out. And one thing you can't forget to do is to clean off the pulley. See how nice and decent that looks now? I use a wire wheel on the drill. Yeah, where the belt rides, it just looks so nasty from the old belt like burning up inside of here and melting. That would definitely cause a noise, so that looks pretty clean to me. I'm happy with that. So I'm pretty much all done here. Everything is put back together. It's got the new belt on it. We ended up reusing the same belt for the power steering because there was nothing wrong with it, and only the alternator belt is the one that sheared. And here it goes right here. Here goes the old one. I don't know if I showed you guys this, but it is thoroughly screwed. So that's that. The battery, I'm just gonna let it charge overnight because I had it on the trickle charger for a few hours, and when we popped it in earlier to try to bring it into the garage, that battery didn't do anything. I'm suspecting that battery's toast, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and let it charge overnight, see if it has enough juice to at least crank it up one time and let the owner leave with the car after that. It's not my problem. It's not, you know, It's not my fault your battery's dead. So this is the point where I would normally start up the car, make sure the tension on the belt is fine, make sure there's no squealing, make sure the belt's not going to jump off and slap someone in the face. But can't do any of that because of the freaking breathalyzer. Normally I would bypass it, like come straight to the fuse panel right here, and they usually have a relay for the starter, and I don't have to start the engine. I just want to get everything spinning, make sure the belts are going to stay on track. But apparently this car does not have a relay in here for the starter. Maybe there's one somewhere else on the car, I don't know, but I'm not going to go digging for it. I don't care about it too much. So tomorrow when the guy comes to pick it up, we'll pop the battery in it. Hopefully it starts up with the battery, and hopefully everything is perfect and the guy could just drive out of here. Simple as that. So you guys can see the Honda Civic out there in the garage. The owner is sitting in it right now. So he's been on the phone because apparently he has to like reactivate the breathalyzer for the car sitting for so long, and you know, he needs to get a hold of a person. They're not answering the phone, so they could send him like a 4-digit code or something. Anyway, it's like 95 degrees outside. I stood in the hot garage for a good, I don't know, 15-20 minutes just standing there. And at some point I'm like, I'm walking away. I mean, I'm not gonna stand here in the garage suffering this heat because you made poor decisions, and now you got to sit there and wait for your car to get started. I just walked away. Like, this is stupid. So we're about, I don't know, I want to say at least 30 to 40 minutes in now, and the car's still not started. He's still on the phone with these people. It's absolutely crazy. Got this 2009 Cadillac Escalade here. You can see the rear brakes are just grinding. The guy tried to get me to pad slap it, and I told him that's not going to happen. This thing needs pads and rotors. And then if we go on the rear right side, it's not grinding, but look at the amount of rust on this thing. Yeah, so no way it was happening. I told him bring me a set of rotors and some rear pads. I swear I got the worst luck with this guy. The owner of this car is like bad luck or something. The owner of this Escalade is the same guy that owns that Impala, the one that came in for that simple work and then it ended up dying. It had to get towed out of here. I thought the PCM was bad. Well, guess what? Here's a small update. He got it towed to the dealer, and yes, they confirmed that the PCM is bad and it's gonna get replaced. So that's that. Anyway, it's here for brakes. I just showed you guys that it's grinding, right? Guess what? It's not gonna work. I can't put the new parts on because you see I got the rotor bolted down with 2 nuts right here, right? And if I try to put the bracket in place, it's not gonna happen. Look, it's rubbing on the actual rotor itself. You can see how it's already cut a groove into the caliper. You see that? Right there. So if I were to fully bolt down this caliper bracket, it's gonna eat right through the rotor. So what's going on here is I noticed that when I was taking the brakes apart, the axle back here looks relatively new. I was like, man, this thing looks shiny for its age. Yeah, someone's been in here. This axle isn't fully seated. Something's wrong here. I tried to push it in, it won't go in. I tried to pull it out, it won't come out. I have no idea what's going on here, but clearly that's the reason why it chewed up these brakes. So I have to take all this stuff back off, put the old parts back on it, and send them down the road. I swear, every time this guy brings his cars into my garage, I just end up losing out. So I removed the rotor, and this is how far the axle is sticking out. I don't know if that's normal. Someone who knows more about this could tell me. Talked to the owner, and he said it's been over 2 years. It was an accident. It's been over 2 years since the shop did this work right here. He said he hasn't had the brakes done since. So I don't know, guys. He told me to just go ahead and put the new parts on it. I'm like, hey man, it's not a good idea. And he said, just go ahead and do it. So that's where we are. All right, so I got the rotor in place. You can see it's being held down with a nut right there. The caliper bracket is completely bolted down. And if we look from the top right here, you could see how far out of shape this caliper bracket is. That's crazy, right? So, you know, guys, now that I look at this, it is very much possible that there's nothing wrong with the axle. It's just that when this car got into an accident, this caliper bracket got bent and it never got replaced. Yeah, they fixed the axle and whatever the hell was going on back here, but they ended up reusing the same exact brakes, and that's what's bent here is the caliper bracket. That's possible. okay? So yeah, I'll let the owner know what I think about this. But again, he told me to go ahead and put this on. Look at that. There is barely, if any, gap between the rotor and that caliper bracket. And you can see it's been going on for a while, because if you look right there, you can see how the rotor has already cut a groove into this bracket. Look at this. Look how far off it is. That's absolutely nuts. So I ran into our next problem, and I should have seen this one coming. The caliper just straight up doesn't fit. It'll go over the pads, okay? But since everything's so far out of whack, you can't get this to go over these slide pins. It's just not gonna happen, guys. Look at that. It's already maxing out right there. It's hitting the pad, right? And look how much further we go for it to clear over the slide pin. It's not gonna happen. Jesus. This just pisses me off. What a waste of time this car is. Yeah, and the owner's like, yeah, just go ahead, put them on, it'll be fine. It's been 2 years since the accident. Okay, yeah, when they reuse your old worn out brake pads, I just, you know, guys, you can't believe anything any of these customers say. Nowadays, everyone just lies about all kinds of crap. I don't know what to do, guys. I'm just, there's nothing I can do. I don't know why I'm saying I don't know what to do. The old crap needs to go back on, and this thing just needs to get out of my garage, and that's it. There's, at very least, it needs a new caliper bracket, if that's the problem. Alright guys, just got back from AutoZone. We got a new caliper bracket. It came with a whole caliper, you know, so whatever. Yeah, it's not gonna fit. Look at it, everything's bolted down, and there's very little clearance down here, but up top there's no clearance at all. This thing is actually touching. Hopefully you guys can see that there's no gap at all. So it's not a caliper issue like I was hoping it would be, because that would be the easy fix, right? No, something's bent here. So at this point, there's nothing I could do. All the old parts have to go back on, and this guy has to come pick up his car. I'm beyond frustrated with this. And you know, the owner seems to be giving me a hard time. All I'm trying to do is fix his car. I don't want to run into these problems. You get what I'm saying? And he's giving me a hard time over stupid crap like this, when I even went to the store and bought this out of my own money. I said, you could reimburse me. Don't worry about leaving your house. I'll go out and get the part myself. And still people give me a hard time. So it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna go ahead, put everything back in the box, and return this caliper back to AutoZone, and put all of his new parts back in the boxes, and put the old parts back on it. It's the only way this car is gonna get put back together and get out of my garage. It's like 9 p.m. It's dark out here, guys. I can't, you know, sticking halfway out the garage. This thing has to get out. So it's unfortunate we cannot fix this car, at least not easily. He's gonna have to take it to a shop. Got the old ones installed. As you can see, the bracket is clamped down, and yeah, same exact thing here, guys. I'm not crazy. You know, the only reason why there's a small gap down there right now is because the surface of the rotor is already ground down, if that makes any sense. That's why there's any type of gap. But we could already see right there on the caliper bracket how it's been eating into the bracket. Look on this side, there's nothing on this side that's like that. You can see it's just flat. So this whole, oh, the noise just started, come on, you know, I don't believe this crap. I find it hard to believe that these brake pads have been on here for the past 2 years, and with this thing, the condition that it's in, that it just started grinding after 2 years. No, this thing is so far out of whack, it would have immediately chewed through your brake pads. I have no idea, guys. All I know is the old parts is going back on. This thing's getting the heck out of my garage, and I think I need to learn my lesson with this guy. I'm sorry, nothing against him, but so far that's 2 strikes. His Impala and now his Escalade, both of them just been a big old waste of my time. And that's it. And the guy's so let's just say unhappy. I could hear it in his voice. I'm not gonna charge him, and I know you guys already. I hear you guys. I get a ton of comments about this stuff. You should still charge for your time. You still did work. You still took it apart. You looked at it. I understand all that, okay? But sometimes, you know, even if I were to be like, you know what, for my time, $45, it's not worth the argument. It's honestly not worth it. There are people that legit get upset, and it is just not worth that type of stuff, guys. We are seeing the way the world is nowadays. People are getting killed for cutting in line at the freaking supermarket. Kids are getting killed in schools because a kid got bad grades on his test. You get what I'm saying? The world is crazy right now. I'm not gonna fumble with someone over a measly, oh, you owe me $45 for at least taking this stuff apart. I don't care. Just get your junk out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I'm gonna pop the wheel on it, put the old brake pads back on it. This thing's out of here. All right, so I just parked the truck, and You can see the Bondo right here on the door. That's, I'm assuming, for when the car was in this accident. You know, they fixed the door and put filler over it. Yep, that sucks. I wonder what kind of bill he's gonna get when he takes that thing to a shop and fix what needs to be fixed in order to get the freaking brakes done.